PodAskew podcast is a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
It's Fandom Friday.
And live from PodAskew Studios 3.0 and Casa de Stefanico, we are getting vocal with PodAskew. How's everyone doing this week? What's up, man?
What's up, motherfuckers?
the delays begin. All right, so for those paying attention, Rico moved this week. He's in his own fucking crib for once. He's got his own place. So he also has shitty internet because he hasn't set that up yet. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Feedback. Where are you getting feedback from, Terry?
Yeah. You're reverberating.
Oh.
You sound like you are like still doing the get vocal.
I
Like,
have no idea why. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna sound a little echoey because I don't have a whole lot of carpet. But how do I sound when he's not talking for just
Sound
one
good
second?
to
Do I
me.
sound okay?
Okay. Well, there
Now
you go.
you sound better.
I think I fixed it. Did I fix it, people? Sorry.
Okay.
All kinds of tech
Yeah.
problems. I have a feeling it's because of the rebuild, Rico. I'm not going to lie to you. I bet a lot of this because we had problems last week too. But anyway, here we are. We sound a little better.
Yeah.
That's good. Rico, you're coming through pretty clean considering your connection.
Yes.
So I think it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So before we get into today's topic, I am going to solicit guesses to my music list if you can figure out what it was. But before we do that, so don't put your answers out yet. I'm springing this on Rico. He doesn't even know I want to talk about this yet. I want to talk about an only episode 1 of The Mandalorian because holy crap, it's been really good. We're not going to talk episode 2. It just dropped today. That's bullshit to do to people that haven't seen it yet. So we're not going to reference it. Nothing. I've seen it already. Rico has not. But
I have.
right. I just said that. Did you? But
I think there's
a delay. Okay. Well, we'll deal with it. But episode 1, first off, Rico, and I texted you this. You're going to hate episode 2. You specifically are going to hate episode 2. That's all I'm going to say. But episode 1, the whole Western vibe was pretty fucking awesome. It was really cool to see Timothy Oliphant. What does Kevin call him? He's got a name for him, and I forget what it is.
Fantastic.
That's it. Thank you. It was really well done. There's a couple major surprises in the episode. I'm not going to spoil those, but that whole Western type vibe that took place, I thought was pretty well done. And it was a great way to kick off season 2. I think it went well. What do you think, Rico?
Yeah, it definitely for me felt like a nice. It felt like the first couple episodes because the first couple of episodes of the first season were like, what the fuck is the vibe of this going to be? And then it kind of went chaotic in a good way. And then you're like, oh, Grand Moff Gideon and Baby Yoda and fucking Cara Dune and so many characters and Taika Waititi and what the fuck? And then now it just brought it back. Well, yeah, the dark lightsaber by Gideon. Yeah. But that's sort of what you want. But then every season should start back to like the basic of slow burn and then increase flame is how I look at it.
Sure. I think it's just going off well. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. I'm not 100% liking what they're doing with I guess Baby Yoda. I don't know the child, the infant, whatever they're calling this thing. Not 100% thrilled with where they're going with.
This thing?
Yeah, that thing, but on a much larger scale, comparatively speaking. But I'm curious to see how they're going to do with it. And where they're going to go with them. But as a whole, so far so good. And without spoiling anything about episode 2, I think it picked right up there. So it's still the quality is the same. That's all I'm going to say about episode 2 in terms of what happened. Yeah, it'll be curious to see if they do that, Todd. Rico and I were talking about that, if they'll actually put him in Beskar. We'll see. I think it's too young, too early to tell. That'll probably be later in the series, depending on how many episodes they run. But I would be curious to see that too someday. But that's all I wanted to really say on Mandalorian. If other people have thoughts once we open the windows, or they are open, actually. I meant to lock them. Okay. Once I open the windows, then we can get back into that topic. I've got zero problem with that. But as far as tonight goes, does anyone, Rico knows the topic because we determined it before we started. Does anyone have any guesses if you didn't, even if you read the description of tonight's episode, do you know why I picked the songs that I picked? Well, Highlander's kind of part of it, Kateri, but not fully.
Let's say it has something to do with the ultimate Highlander.
That's a good way to put it. I like it. Anyone else? I'm not gonna. All right. Look at Nate pulling out the answers here, and
There
he just got here. He didn't even hear the music, so check that shit out. Yes, we're talking Sean Connery. He passed 10 days ago at this point,
Yes.
Rico. I think 2 weeks, something like that. 10 weeks, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that.
It was Halloween, wasn't it?
Was it on Halloween? I thought it was a day after, so it might have been a day after. It might have been day after.
I
But
think
anyway,
so.
it was in that range. So last week, thank you, Kateri. So we wanted to talk about his films, want to talk about his career. I love a lot of his films, and it's not the ones you would expect because everyone loves Bond, and I'm not dogging on that. I'm not the biggest early Bond fan. Rico can attest to that. We've talked about it at length. The Rock's a great film, Nate. That's one of the ones I actually enjoy. I'll actually say real quick just to go through the music. So I did Opus.
Yeah.
I did the Opus Foundry, the Iron Foundry Opus because it was early. It was a throwback to a lot of those medieval type movies that he's in, like Dragonheart, and he had a guest spot in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and there's a couple other ones that he's been in. And then I did Queen, the Highlander reference. Chris Cornell, You Know My Name. That was my Bond. Even though that's not his Bond, it's the only Bond song I have. So I did that one. And then Sisters of Mercy was Dominion Mother Russia for two reasons. Because with Russia with Love, and Rico knows one of my favorite fucking movies, The Hunt for Red October. So we did. So we know that was the reason for the songs tonight. I'm gonna try to start theming the music each week and see if you guys can guess what the theme is, even if it's not related to our topic, just for the fun of it. But that's a different conversation for another day. So Rico, what are your thoughts? Well, I mean, I know you've got some thoughts on Mr. Connery. Let's try to be as kind as possible. I mean, I know you want to be honest, and I respect that, but let's be as kind as you can. Because I know where you're kind of going.
Yeah, I mean, as an actor, I thought. I mean, look, the man is iconic. There's no, there are those legends of cinema, and he was definitely up there. Even towards like his later career, like Finding Forrester is probably his last great role. Like, yeah, The Untouchables is good, but whoever the fuck decided to cast him as an Irishman, like that's when you just kind of say fuck it, in the same sense of him.
I really
like
Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones. I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty late in his career. It's not bad. It's I
haven't seen that one yet.
But yeah, A Hunt for October, Jay, I'm with you. Rico will tell you I referenced the fuck out of that film. I love me some Hunt for Red October. So
He calls his dick Red October, so whenever he's in the mood to jerk off, he calls it his hunt for Red
Anyway,
October.
no, no, there you
Does
go.
that what it
That's
sound
what it
like
sounds
when you ejaculate?
but I mean, Rico, I know where you want to go. I don't really want to get into that conversation, but I respect it if you want to talk about it. So,
Look, the elephant in the room, so to speak, is that I don't like what Sean admitted to doing. He was one of those guys that said, "Yes, it's okay to slap a woman around." And it's like,
no,
ooh, no, it's not. And he said that shit to Barbara Walters, and he also said that in a Playboy magazine. And it's just like, look, like my respect just kind of like, ooh, like not. It didn't. He didn't say that he slapped women, but he definitely said it's okay because women like to push men, and you gotta slap them to put them back in line. It's like, dude,
no, and I agree with you 1,000%. No,
yeah,
but can I play devil's advocate first, just a second, just throwing out like a possible other side, the other side of this. He was 90 when he died. Right. So the Playboy interview, if I recall, was from the 70s. So if my math serves me, he would have been in his 50s, even when he gave that interview. And then the Barbara Walters thing was like late 80s, early 90s. So that doesn't early 80s. Okay, so there you go. Even more. Yeah. There you go. So no, Kateri, it's not cool. I'm not saying it's cool, but my point is that he was born in 1930. So his mentality, the way he was raised, would be different. You know, like the Me Too wasn't close to what it is now. I'm not justifying it. I'm telling you that, you know, it's much like that when we did Baby It's Cold Outside, and we had that conversation about looking back on that and, you know, it being kind of creepy or whatever. But you think about the context of when it was written, the song. Well, same thing about the context of when Connery was raised. It doesn't make it okay, and I'm not justifying a reason for him to be okay with it. I'm just saying that there's at least an explanation, potentially.
There is I mean, I see what you're saying. It's the same argument. Like, oh well, you know, my grandfather's not racist. It's just that he just came from a different time.
Really?
It's not
really
condoning it. You're just saying, okay, why did Grandpa say
I mean,
the
look,
N-word?
I'm not saying it's okay, and he shouldn't do it, and nobody should do it. But I'm saying there's a reason why he had the mentality. That's all I'm saying. But
look, to be fair, my dad was born in 38. Never hit a woman in his life. So there, but you could argue it's just how he was raised. It's. But again, we have to stress we don't know if he did hit 80 women. We just know that he said it was acceptable.
Yes.
Which to me is still bad enough. If you say look, we all learn from fucking kindergarten. You treat others the way you want to be treated. You don't put your hands on anybody unless you're defending yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just simple fucking understanding. But being said, do I like
elephant
Sean
in the room
movies?
is dealt with. So now we're going to move on to the part about his films, right? And there you go. So we're going to stay with the films from now on, and that's it. And obviously, you know, we're not exactly, Mark. You got a point there too. I mean, there's a lot of artists that are like that, and you know, people love their art, but they don't like the people. As I said earlier, and we're not going to have a huge conversation about it unless Rico wants to talk about it a little bit, but I was not the biggest Bond fan. I didn't become a Bond fan, honestly, till Daniel Craig. I know for you it's earlier. It's at least Pierce, if not before. But, you know, for me, it was definitely there. But outside of Bond, you know, Nate mentioned a couple with the Untouchables. I thought that was all right. It wasn't great to me, but that's just not my personal thing. But I loved, like I said, The Hunt for October, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, obviously Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. He's fantastic in that fucking film. And Trapman was good. Rico, I know you said you didn't see it, but it is good. Why am I getting ha ha ha? I see. You know what? I'm about to open this up and just take my beating because it's coming, and why not? So,
Because you said,
Probably.
I'm guessing it's because you said League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Like,
I didn't say
it's not a
I didn't say it was a good movie. I
We
said I
all
enjoyed
know
it.
this. But it's entertaining in
Yeah,
a kind of what the fuck kind of way. Oh shit.
I
feel like it's great that I was going to jump in here and be like, my favorite Sean Connery movie
Nathan,
is
I'll
The
tell you
League
my
of
thoughts on
Extraordinary
John
Gentlemen.
Don't.
And this motherfucker just says like he likes The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
didn't.
Like, come on!
Wait, what?
You're fucking taking my jokes away from me, you piece of shit!
I didn't even see you say that. I'm looking at the chat. It's not there.
I didn't say it yet. I was specifically waiting for you to open it up so I could come in and say it. And then he specifically says, I like The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Come on!
I do like that film. I'm not saying it's fantastic. It's not on par with a lot of his other stuff. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy the film.
That movie was so fucking bad it made him retire from acting.
No, he did not.
He
It's
literally
true.
said that was the reason he retired from acting.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did. All right, he was in one fucking kids movie that like was released.
Yeah,
in, like,
it was a voice. It was an animated film. He wasn't even in the thing.
Yeah, it was like Shaun and the Highlanders or some stupid fucking. And it looks like if Pixar
Nate's got
said
it. It's
fuck
Sir
it, and only
Billy.
had like one employee.
So,
whatever, man. It's so shitty. That's what it is. It's shitty. Yes.
Well, we're off to a rocking start this week on Get Vokl. Jesus fucking Christ.
All I have to say about that,
the movie was extraordinary.
Yeah, that might be his best role ever, and he didn't even fucking do it.
I still think his worst movie was Dragonheart.
Dragonheart was pretty bad, but he wasn't technically. I mean, he wasn't in it. He voiced the dragon, but he wasn't in the film, if I recall.
He's still in it though.
Oh, fuck off! Don't semantics that. He was in it. I mean, he wasn't flapping his
because
wings.
you're not in front of the camera doesn't mean you're not in it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're gonna freak out when
What?
I tell you that Tom Hanks is like in Toy Story.
I heard you. I just think it's a.
You're gonna freak out when I
outside
tell
of
you
the
Tom
first
Hanks is
two.
in Toy
It's
Story.
crap. So the third and fourth one are junk. Anyway, so oh god, Phelan with aggravated ball damage. That no one's gonna get. That's inside baseball right there, Mark. But fuck.
Listen, motherfucker, it's not my fault that people don't watch my shit.
That reference was Phelan.
Yeah, Phelan.
It kind of is. You don't share enough.
I posted on Twitter.
He did.
And in my Discord.
He does. Yeah. So I want to know. All kidding aside,
Hey, motherfuckers, calm
Bond
down.
excluded. What's everyone's favorite Connery film? Like, legit favorite film. I know mine.
Well, I said that one of my favorites is Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I think that's his actual first motion picture too.
The what? No, what now?
You're right.
Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's a Disney film from 1959.
Okay.
And he plays an Irishman in that one, and not very well.
Yeah, because he can only do Scottish, and even then, that's a stretch. Because Scots don't have they don't have a lisp like everyone else. What the fuck? Like, we took a fucking manly man who, like, was like a Mr. Universe who is graceful like a cat but could be huge and brawl, and then he pushy. No, it's pussy, you schmuck. Or is it pronounced smuck?
Yeah, I can't find that film. I
Schmuck.
believe you, but I can't find it on. I got his IMDb
Or are
right
we
now.
talking like the best movie we think he was in, or the best movie where he was the starring
It's his
actor?
first movie.
Actually, I was talking. Just your
favorite
personal
Sean
favorite.
Connery
It doesn't
movie.
matter how good or bad the film is. So, like, for example, Mark, and I noticed it in your answer, but if the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was it, then that would be your pick. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
regardless.
but he's the leading actor in that one, so that's why I'm asking.
No, it's just something he's in. Now, like something that would probably be disqualified would be Robin to Prince of Thieves because he's in it for literally like yeah, I know.
Prince of Tide is fucking great.
Prince of Tide
for like 30 seconds. You know what I mean? But one.
I would, that being the case, I would say probably if we're just going by what he was in, my toss up is between Highlander or Time Bandits.
Yeah, I forgot he was in Time Bandits. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
If we're talking about movies that he was the leading actor in, of course, my choice is going to be Zardoz.
What the fuck is Zardoz?
That movie was absolute shit. Oh
yes,
my
I know.
God. I could not think.
Yes, that is the worst. That is one of the worst movies ever made. But it's great because it's Sean Connery in a fucking He-Man wear. Shooting at stone heads while they were having like weird PG orgies. It was very strange.
Hold on. I must.
It's on Amazon.
If you've ever want to see Sean Connery in a fucking Speedo, have we got a movie for you?
Dude.
And there you go.
Yeah. A gun belt, a loincloth and fuck me boots. Yeah.
Congratulations, TJ. Everybody in the chat is now
because
pregnant.
He's so hairy and he's got the bandolier. Because of the fucking hairiness and the bandolier, he kind of looks like someone trying to describe what Chewbacca.
He looks like he's going to go do BDSM porn.
That's what Chewbacca would look like.
What's that, Todd?
Yeah, pretty much. He looks like Chewbacca if someone gave him a bottle of Nair.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Sean Connery with the hairless.
Isn't that you, Rico?
No, he's a very hairy man.
No, I'm not completely
neither
hairless.
Sean Connery, but I thought that was the joke. Anyway.
Oh yes, The Last Crusade is probably my favorite one. Shannon made me watch that movie.
I have to go with that.
Well, I think the thing with Last Crusade is that we're so used to not seeing him bald. So that when I first saw it, most of the time he's got his hair. It's a piece, but he's got hair. Every movie I've seen him
in. As Bond, he always had a toupee, but he has a lot of.
Every movie I've ever seen him in, with the exception of I think when he does the cameo in Robin Hood, he had hair, like his typical. That's what I just fucking
he's got
said.
A bald spot in Last Crusade.
I said, except for Last Crusade, he's had hair.
Okay, cock smoker, there is a fucking lag, and everyone keeps talking over each other.
Now, ladies, you're both.
Do you understand the word coming out of my mouth? It's hard to fucking do a good vocal if we both shut the fuck up. Everyone else shut the fuck up.
Easy, Rico. Little hostile today.
It's been one.
Well.
So, anyway, getting back to the happiness here. But I do think there's very few films where he doesn't have the toupee. You don't see him bald very often. So seeing him in that capacity in Crusade actually threw me off. And I was already familiar with Sean Connery prior to seeing Last Crusade. And for whatever reason, and chalk it up to age to a degree, because I saw Last Crusade when it came out, I didn't realize it was the same guy, until years later, So, yeah.
Really?
Well, like I said, you chalk it up to age. I was not
realize that was Sean Connery.
Not at 9, no. But
when I was a kid, I didn't really have a good framework of who was or wasn't an actor in any capacity. I couldn't have picked Michael fucking Keaton out of a lineup if you put a gun to my head at 9. But I thought Beetlejuice was great. So
yeah,
when you're a kid, it's kind of a whole different thing. So I sort of get that. That is the only time I'm going to be nice to you on the show.
I mean, I think I knew Sean Connery as just James Bond. I said I think I knew Sean Connery as James Bond. So like when I first saw Crusade, like my dad told me, he's like, oh, that's James Bond. Like he was telling me that's James Bond. So I just thought that
see,
that
Last
was who it was.
Crusade at the time that I saw it was probably the first time I ever saw Connery. And then within a couple months, I saw Red October for the first time. And very different, you know what I mean, in terms of what he looks like. So, you know, it's you know, and then to Steph's point, Medicine Man's not long after that. And so you just keep going from there, you know.
Yeah, like I want to say my first Connery movie was probably Highlander, and then Crusade right after that.
That's fair. Okay,
Go
what?
for it.
I got a big problem with Highlander. It's just I don't understand why the fuck they didn't make him Scottish,
British or some shit, wasn't he?
He
was Spanish. That's right.
He was
Egyptian. He was Spanish.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Okay, he was Egyptian or okay. Either way, Spanish, Egyptian, fucking African. He was not Scottish. You get the most Scottish fucking dude on the planet. The most famous Scot apart from Loch Ness Monster. You put him in a fucking movie called Highlander, and then you cast the fucking dude from Belgium to be the like. I don't understand what drugs the casting director was on because I would like.
80s were a wild time, man. The 80s were a wild time.
It's just insane. It's
there was
just
a lot
insanity.
of fucking cocaine, just so much cocaine.
No, that's not cocaine, dude. That
Whatever it is,
acid.
it's legal in Oregon right now,
That
so that's where they
straight up
go.
acid.
What?
Yeah, you hear that they passed a bill that was basically like, yeah, you can own drugs, it's fine.
Oh shit! No, I hadn't heard that. I know they legalized marijuana in Jersey, so.
Yeah, people were messaging me like, "Oh, you're going to smoke up." I'm like, they're not going to have fucking marijuana available for another year.
It's going to be at least a year. Yeah.
Because all the medical dispensaries are still going to be specifically for the people who have it for medical, and like the closest medical dispensary to me is like half an hour away. I have anxiety. I don't have drive half an hour to get edibles anxiety.
Right. I'd be using it. So I'd be using it for pain, honestly, if I used it at all. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different day. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, Rico. I've only seen one Highlander movie, and I believe it was the last one that he wasn't in. I think Christopher Lambert was in it, but I don't believe that he was, meaning Connery.
No, he was in the first three, two.
I've only seen the
Sean
first
Connery's
one.
only in the first two.
Yeah.
Which the second one was just, we don't talk about the second Highlander.
The second one doesn't exist.
Okay.
There can be
I'm
only
okay
one
with the TV series.
Exactly.
I tried the TV series. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on, and I was like 9, and my sister gave it to me. She's like, "Here, happy birthday!" And I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" And it was just kind of confusing and bad, and I never tried it again. And then I saw there was a movie, and I'm like, "Oh, Sean Connery's in this." It's way better.
And trying to rewatch it as an adult, it's much better as an adult. It would have been confusing to me as a kid as well, but it's a good show. If you watch it from the very beginning, it makes a lot of sense.
Could I make a request for Todd or Mark to jump off just briefly? We have a guest in the chat room that can't stay very long, and I know he wants a camera spot. Thank you, Todd. At least I think he does. I'll wait till he jumps in, and then I'll enter. There he goes.
What up?
Hey, Russ, what's going on, everyone? This is Russ from the Infectious Groove podcast. The new. So there's Russ. One of the. Holy shit, that's loud.
Yeah, I told you, dude. I'm sorry. I got a whole basement full of people rocking.
No worries. I appreciate you popping in for a quick second, but loud or not, what's spinning right now?
It sounds like Joe snuck in Dave Matthews while I wasn't looking.
Oh.
Did you sneak in Dave Matthews while I wasn't looking? Is that what we're hearing? Yes. Yes, I'm talking to you. Did you sneak in Dave Matthews while I wasn't looking? No. Apparently, it's something that sounds Dave Matthews-esque.
I was gonna say, if it's Dave Matthews, you need to go punch him in the dick. But since you don't have that long, I think you need to catch the worst. Yeah, Russ, it's too loud, buddy. I appreciate you coming. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Anyway. All right. Well, I did want to. He does this party. He has these people over every Friday. They spin records. He's got a full fucking thing in his basement. He actually's invited me to come over. I just have to drive out to Detroit. So I gotta go do that. I'm gonna once this COVID shit's over. I'm actually gonna make the drive. I really am. I'm gonna drive out there, spend a weekend. I'll do a record with them and then fly back. So no, it's a suburb of Detroit, Nate. It's not downtown Detroit. I'll be fine. Did we lose Mark? I think we lost Mark.
No, I just muted myself.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be respectful of the new guest.
Well, thank you.
Listen, I can be respectful of people, just not you.
Yeah, I noticed that. And Nate seems to feel the same way. So
no, Nate's not respectful to anybody.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Even himself, which is sad.
I mean, have you met Nate? I wouldn't be respectful to him either.
That's true. That's true. Rico, where do you want to take this thing? Because we got a while to go.
I mean, I am curious why you have not seen a
for the same reasons I've told you I don't want to really watch the Pierce ones. They seem too hokey. They seem that they've got all the like. I don't need Bond with funky gadgets. That's one of the things I like about the Daniel Craig ones is it's very rooted in reality. They don't get really gadgety in the Daniel Craig ones till close to Spectre, and even then, it's not terrible. It's not terribly gimmicky. You know what I mean? Or not gimmicky, but gadgety is the word I was looking for. Sorry. Just not. I don't.
I mean, I kind of enjoyed
Bond in
that
general
aspect,
because of all the gadgets. What's the point of why he's watching it?
I mean,
you just
want
want
a
British
I mean, the Daniel Craig
Jason
ones
Bourne.
anyway.
That's what
they are. But I really enjoy those Jason Bourne movies. So why wouldn't I enjoy the Daniel Craig Bonds?
I still haven't seen any of those.
I mean, I don't need a Bond driving in an invisible car or flying an invisible plane or shooting lasers out of his penis with a switch that's on the inside of his sunglasses that are worn backwards because he can view the cameras that are attached. Like, I don't need that shit. Like, I just don't. I don't care.
Yeah. The Bond for either.
To be fair, that was all Pierce Brosnan. That was not Sean Connery. Sean Connery, like the gadgets for Sean Connery, really kind of extended as this briefcase.
And that I'm okay with. Like that I'm okay with. Like, because they do a little bit of that in Mission Impossible, like with the first one with the gum. If you remember that, it was the gum and it was a red and green, and if you smashed it together, it became basically C4. You know, so that I'm all right with. You know, practical gadgets. That brings a good point up. Yeah.
I think. See, this is what I want. I want CJ to watch some of the Sean Connery Bond films, and I want Todd to watch the Daniel Craig ones, and then watch you guys have a conversation.
It's not impossible. Okay. Doesn't need it, but he would still watch a laser shoot out of a gun. No, I would not, Nate. I would not watch anyone's penis ever for any reason. There's no need to watch anyone's penis.
You've never watched pornography?
I'm not staring at the penis.
I see your Schwartz.
But you've seen a penis in pornography.
Well, yeah, I'm sure.
Do you look at the eyes of the porn star when you watch porn?
I will. I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to be fair to CJ one more time tonight, and this is the last time I'm going to do it probably. I haven't watched the Sean Connery James Bonds either. Though there is a good reason for that.
Okay.
I haven't watched any of the James Bonds.
There's no fucking reason, you cocksuckers.
Then that's fair.
Yeah, my mother was not a fan of James Bond when I was growing up, so that was not a movie that was introduced into my filmic diet, as it were. And now that I'm older, it's just I've just never bothered to look them up in any capacity. It's just not a franchise that I necessarily, because I'm not big on Mission Impossible necessarily either. Like spy stuff only goes so far for me as a genre. So it was just kind of like, eh.
So I'm guessing, and I'm without any criticism, the same thing goes for Jason Bourne then too, right? You're just not in any of that stuff.
Never seen a Jason Bourne movie. It's just not my particular thing, you know.
If
somebody like sat me down and was like, "Hey, let's watch this," I'd watch it, but I'm not going to seek it out in any capacity.
Of the three franchises that we just mentioned, I think you would enjoy the Bournes the most, but you would have the most fun with the Mission Impossibles because you would be able to just shred them. You know what I mean?
To be fair, I've seen the first two Mission Impossibles because my mother actually did want to see those. I didn't find them to be anything particularly interesting. The first one was okay. The second one to me was John Woo's weakest film. Fair. But it's absolutely a John Woo movie because at some point fucking Ethan Hunt walks out of a door and there's fucking doves and you're just like, yep. Hi, John Woo.
Yeah.
To be fair, with the Mission Impossible movies, once you've seen one of them, you've seen them all.
With one exception. Henry Cavill doing this shit is so fucking awesome. Like, we saw that in the trailer in fucking Fallout, and it's just like just cocking his fucking gun, so to speak. And then Michael and I saw it, and we're like, just the entire time, just doing this shit like we're fucking epileptics, just like.
That was the best part of that movie, and that whole fight was not even that long. So that fight was actually
honestly, it reminded me of the fight from the first
elbows
Daniel Craig Bond, because that's the same opening scene fight essentially. So, but yeah,
you know who's a really good fighter? Sean Connery.
Thank you, Rico. Let's talk about the one that Nate brought up, because I think he brings up an interesting one, and one I think it's a little underrated, to be fair, and that's The Rock with Nicolas Cage. Some people have even said that
the one with Zeus's butthole.
Oh my god!
I've even heard it said that that's a backdoor Bond film, because he's a British secret agent. But it's not Bond, but I don't think they ever say, I forget if they say his name, but either way, the interpretation I've seen is that they actually think that he is basically Bond, without.
The theory is that he was the original Bond, and then he was arrested, and then the code name 007 was given to like George Lazenby, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, but he was the original Bond. And then the Daniel Craig thing fucked that theory up, because they said, oh no, he actually is born James Bond, like it's also a reboot. So if you go from Lazenby to Pierce Brosnan, then that theory is pretty good. And then once Daniel Craig comes on,
they shouldn't have fucking made Skyfall, but that's a different conversation. Skyfall's terrible. It's the worst of the four Daniel Craigs. No.
You're dead wrong.
Anyway, but yeah, it's.
I can't even get Mark to defend me on this one, because
but I will definitely agree that if it's a CJ opinion, he's probably wrong.
Anyway, Nick said that he brought up a good point. He thought that Connery and Nicolas Cage played well off each other, and I think I have to agree with it. They did. They played very well off each other. I think it was a nice dynamic, and it was actually interesting to see from my perspective, because to that point I don't think I'd seen a role where Connery is really kind of the villain, because ultimately he really is kind of the villain. Because even in Hunt for Red October, while the Russians are the villains, technically he doesn't play a villainous kind of role, so you don't, in my viewing, you don't. I've never seen him before that, like that. So
I can agree with that. I can't think of him really as a villain apart to Barbara Walters. I can't think of him as a villain.
There's one. There is one.
Context.
But it's after The Rock. What?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The Avengers, not the fucking Marvel Avengers. But you're talking about the shitty Avengers?
Is a strong word, but okay, fair enough.
The British.
Oh, he hated that he was there.
No, he regretted that. That's his business, but that doesn't mean the film shit. Mark,
it's only shit when CJ
the
says
film was a failure at the box office, grossing only
it's only shit when CJ says he likes it.
Canada and $55 million worldwide, compared to its budget of $60 million. Critics panned the film. Rotten Tomatoes gave the rating of the film a 5%. With an average of 2.93 out of 10. The site's critical consensus reads a TV spinoff that lacks the energy to spin. The Avengers is ineptly written, woefully miscast disaster.
Okay, but I'm saying right now, if you look up something like Mallrats or Clerks, you're gonna get a very similar description on everything you just read, and people fucking love those films, including me. Who the fuck is Carl?
But the exception is for shit like that, like Mallrats. It would say in that, like an article that Mark just read, it has developed a cult following over the years. Avengers has not developed a fucking cult following. Only people that worship like cult deities like that movie.
You know what?
That's not the same fucking thing.
Two things.
If you continue to defend it, CJ, it's improving our point.
First off, I don't know who Carl is, but he has the opinions of a complete toilet.
Okay.
Second, reception. He is correct. Mallrats does start with the sentence of was the subject of much critical derision when it was released, with many critics comparing it unfavorably to Smith's first film, Clerks. However, Rico is correct that the last sentence in that paragraph is, despite all that, the film developed a cult following after it was released on video. That sentence is nowhere in the Avengers. The last sentence in the Avengers one was commenting on the truncated release cut of the film. New York Times Jason Maslin noted, at a pared down, barely rational 90 minutes, the Avengers is short, but not short enough. In 2003, Total Film Magazine voted Fiennes and Thurman in the Avengers as the worst movie double act of all time. So yeah, there's that.
Okay. Well,
but the Avengers was originally a TV show back in the 60s.
Yeah, and that was great. Yeah, but that was fine. Some shows are fine by themselves, and they try and do a 30-year later fucking movie, and it just doesn't flow as well. I mean, Sean Connery controlling the weather with giant fucking teddy bear henchmen? Like, come on. He must have been like, I'll never make this mistake again. And then he fucking read they wanted him for Gandalf, and he passed on it because I don't understand this shit. What the fuck's a bobbit? That's a fucking quote he said. What the fuck's a bobbit? And
bobbit?
Yeah. And then Lord of the Rings fucking made $1 gazillion. He's like, oh shit, I made a mistake. And then he took League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and he said, oh fuck acting, I'm done. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, he wasn't that great of an actor towards the end of his career.
Finding Forrester, I'm telling you, underrated as fuck.
Yes. You're the man now, dog.
Okay, apart from that fucking line. That's not
that line is great, and that inspired
I love that
a decade's worth of memes. So you know what? I'm going to give him a pass on that one. 100%. I will say he's not as bad of an actor in the twilight of his. He was not as bad of an actor in the twilight of his career as Harrison Ford is. Like, say what you will about Sean Connery.
Yeah.
At least in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, it felt like he kind of wanted to be there. Harrison Ford has not wanted to be anywhere that is not his house or his helicopter in a decade.
Right.
He brought that motherfucker back for Blade Runner 2020, whatever the fuck it was.
He didn't want to be in the Call of the Wild.
That motherfucker showed up in a t-shirt and sweatpants, and they were just like, okay, I guess that's your character now.
I mean, he came back for Force Awakens, but then he was just like, all right, I'm done. No more. Oh, you want me to be in Rise of Skywalker? Fuck, I just want to be in one little line. Hey, kid, and then just fuck off.
Do you guys know the reason why he did those?
Oh yeah, they backed up a fucking.
He gave him a shit fuck ton of money.
I would have fucking said whatever you wanted me to in Star Wars.
You guys know what my favorite Harrison Ford story is? Greg Proops, the podcaster, who's also a big stoner, was going to have Harrison Ford over for a podcast episode. They went and picked him up at his house. Harrison comes out, and Harrison's apparently a huge stoner, but like it's not, which explains a lot of his demeanor and kind of like how weird and stoned he looks on like talk shows and shit. But he comes out carrying a fucking cooking pot with a lid, comes into the car and says, I couldn't find any papers, and then pulls off the lid. It's smoking with fucking pot, and then just like puts the lid back on. So and then he starts giggling because he's smoking pot in a pot.
Wow.
But like, it's not even the, hey guys, are you ready to do this? He just gets in the car and says, I didn't have any papers.
And then just starts smoking his own pot.
It belongs in a museum.
That is a great story. I'm not gonna lie. I love that story.
Wow. And this is on Greg Proop's podcast. I need to listen to that. I need to hear that for myself.
I don't know where it is, but it was. I heard it on a clip. Wait, Kateri, you want me to log off? What the fuck?
I mean, to be fair, if you are jonesing to get high, like bad enough, I'm pretty sure you'll smoke pot off of anything.
Wow.
Siege, you all right there?
Well, that killed it.
I figure someone who has shitty opinions about film should not comment on a film podcast. So,
motherfucker, I've been telling you that for like a year.
No, we should just move on to the next fucking movie. I've been telling you that for 2 fucking years.
I'm sorry, CJ. We love you.
No. You. Let me just put it this way. You are always going to throw me the curveball where I'm like, every time I recommend a movie to CJ, I'm like, he may fucking love this movie. He may fucking hate it. And either way, I'm going to have an interesting conversation.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't legitimately think you have a terrible opinion. I would never honestly tell anybody that they have a terrible opinion, except for my friend Sean when I was at his fucking wedding and he played Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I told him it's wonderful that the two of you got married, but I hate this fucking movie at his reception, and then I left.
Sean's married?
Yeah. Not little Sean. Not little Sean.
Oh, that's
Sean Madsen. Sean Madsen.
Oh,
that I did with the Die Hard Gamecast with.
Yeah.
He invited me to his wedding in Minnesota, and at the reception they were playing Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And like as the reception was wrapping up, I was getting ready to leave with Matt, who was also there. And I looked at Sean and I shook his hand and I said, It's wonderful that you invited me to your wedding. I'm glad you guys are really happy. This was a great experience, but this is one of the first fucking movies I've ever seen in my life, and I hate you. And I just fucking left. I literally just reminded him of that like 2 days ago, and his entire response was, and I quote, "Hey, fuck you." Which my follow-up was, you invited me to your wedding, I said that, and you still allow me to continue being friends with you. And he said, I have no argument there.
Rico, remember that recommendation I gave you like a month ago? Forget it. Yeah.
I actually forgot
Scott
the
Pilgrim versus the World.
I kind of wanted to see it just because I saw it once, but I want to
rewatch
film.
It is as an Edgar Wright film. It is
like,
great.
That's really the only reason.
Structurally, it's just that the thing that it is based on is terrible.
Okay.
So, like, you'll probably enjoy watching it, but I think Rico will probably walk out of that film with the opinion most people I have talked to about it after the fact have, which is, why am I supposed to root for Scott Pilgrim? He's the biggest fucking douchebag on God's green earth, and he never gets any better.
That's fair. Although Chris Evans,
I was astonished that I was able to like him so much as Captain America, because in that movie, he was just like, wow, I wanted to punch Chris Evans in the mouth.
I mean, is he more or less a douche?
I never saw another teen movie. I swore that fucking shit off, like, right after Scream 3.
Guy.
Because most of those parody movies that they've made past Scream 3 are basically just, hey, Scary Movie 3, right? Scary Movie 3, sorry.
Yes. Oh, you mean Scary Movie?
After Scary Movie 3, I swore off the parody movies because it was like, the Wayans brothers, for all of their faults in the modern era, understood how to make parody movies. They don't anymore, I don't think. But they understood how to make parody movies. Right. And then they handed it off to the first two. Whoever the fuck they handed it off to for Scream 3.
Yeah,
and it was just shitty reference, bad joke.
You're kind of half right. For the first two, it was the Wayans, and then for 3,
yeah. And the problem is that
Zucker,
like Zucker,
like the guy did
sucked
Airplane.
After Airplane,
and then
I like basketball too.
I still like basketball.
I feel like basketball was as much the influence of
baseball's
Trey Parker, yeah, as it was him. Like I don't right. Like I don't like Trey and Matt as human beings, but they're funny motherfuckers. And like I think that they were able to sort of like get Zucker where he needed to be. I don't think anything that Zucker has done since then has been particularly watchable or good.
I don't know. If
even like
done
post
Scary
baseball,
Movie 3.
I will say.
I think Scary Movie 3 had some funny lines and funny scenes. Scary Movie 4, Date Movie had a couple funny scenes, but all the other movies, like, yeah, they're fucking trash. And then they tried to like release other parody movies that were totally in the vein of them, but they gave them different titles like Stan Helsing or Vampires Suck or whatever. There was a multitude of shitty vampire fucking horror spoof movies that were just bullshit. Yeah. CJ, I got a interesting fan theory that I thought of and then I looked up. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not the only person who thought this.
Yeah.
For Rami Malek's character in the new Bond film. All right, what's the title of that movie?
I don't recall. I'm sorry. I know it's Bond, but I forget what they're calling it. No, they gave it a name.
On 25.
No, it's called No. I think it's called like No Time to Die, right? I think that's what it's called. Right. All right, so Rami Malek is a mysterious fucking dude who's like disfigured and shit, and I'm guessing he's going to be this reboot of Daniel Craig's reboot. I think he's going to play Dr. No. I think they're going to go. They're sort of going. They're working their way backwards. So, and the title "No Time to Die."
Well, I know. I saw an article where he said it was the hardest role he's ever done. So I'll be curious to see what that means when we finally fucking see the film.
I'm very astonished that Rami Malek has become something of a big deal as an actor in Hollywood. Because like I saw him in, I can't think of the name, Mr. Robot.
I liked Mr. Robot.
I did like Mr. Robot. I like Mr. Robot. I think it's still a little fantastical for an information security perspective.
Sure.
But, that's a complaint that I'm going to have and nobody else is going to have, so I accept that.
Right.
Within the confines of what it does, though, it honestly does really, really well. And I thought he was a really good actor. And then I saw him in Until Dawn. And I was like, holy shit, like he's good outside of being Mr. Robot. Like he's playing an incredibly convincing psychopath here. I wonder if he's going to go anywhere. And then all of a sudden he's fucking Freddie Mercury and he's in a James Bond movie, and I'm like, holy shit. Like I'm glad for him. I think he's a great fucking actor. I'm just surprised he took off as quickly as he did.
He did a few things in between, Mark, but I get the point you're making. Yeah.
Right. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people aren't familiar with Until Dawn, which is a shame because it's a great fucking game. But it's Rico.
I know the game. I didn't know.
I didn't know he
was.
Wait,
I know the game, but
I always say her last name wrong, so I apologize. But she's in it. Okay, she's in it. He's in it.
No, you got it right.
I think those are the only two main big actors in it. Am I correct on that, Mark?
I think that's correct. The second game they made had Iceman in it, and I think he was the only one that was notable.
Oh, Man of Medan.
Yes.
Yeah, we watched. You watched Man of Medan, Rico. Remember we watched Fumes play it that one night. We were all there. You were there. Yeah. That's it's like an unofficial sequel, but Until Dawn.
Well, it's all just it's all part of the same universe of films.
Yeah.
They just didn't. They made Until Dawn for Sony, so they couldn't title it as part of their little franchise, but it's basically all the same concept.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in Until Dawn, he is an astonishingly great. He has an astonishingly great psychotic break, and then sort of fucked up questioning of why the fuck did I do what I do. Just the amount of emotions that he puts into that fucking game. And I'm not saying that to disparage the game, mind you. It's just it's a B movie. It's meant to be something of a B movie. But he is fucking stealing the show in that. And I was oh my God. He is way better than I expected.
Yeah. No, I was just going to give you from the cast, the only Hayden and Heat are probably the biggest names. The only other big name according to this, because it's listed as Bill, the billing. So it's Hayden and then Peter Stormare.
Oh yeah, Peter Stormare. Yeah.
And then Rami and then Brett Dalton, and then it goes from there. I don't think it's anyone after that, but anyone huge. So
Peter Stormare, he's only. Go ahead.
I would say Rami is a great. I would say Rami is a great actor. I just didn't love how Bohemian Rhapsody was sort of situated and edited, and I didn't like some of the liberties they took. But I thought his performance was amazing. I just,
So that's sort of a complaint that I had around the time the Queen came out.
I don't have the
that movie came out. It's very much, it's a movie that's being written by, fucking, I can't remember his last name, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, it's being written by Brian May and shit.
Brian May?
Oh, no. Brian. No. Brian May is the guy.
I'm talking about Brian May.
You're talking about the director.
I'm talking about Brian May, who's basically written by the surviving members of Queen, where they're going to try and say, oh, well, Freddie Mercury wasn't the reason why we were successful, and they're going to do a lot of revisionist history in that regard because Freddie's dead and they're not. The statement that somebody made to me, well, not to me, but on the internet that I saw, was we are basically at this point we are waiting to see who lives the longest out of the Beatles to decide what movie is going to exist, whether it's going to be Paul's vision of the Beatles or Ringo's vision of the Beatles. To which my response was, I'm pretty sure the movie we're going to see is the Yoko Ono version of the Beatles, and I don't want to fucking watch that shit.
I agree.
No doubt.
I would actually, out of the four members of the Beatles, I would be interested in Ringo's point of view.
Fuck that! I wanted to see Paul Best. I think that was his name, or Pete Best. I want to see his fucking perspective.
For the 10 minutes he was in the band, yeah.
They already made that movie. They already made that movie. It came out in the 90s.
What was it called?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. Hold on. But it was, it's, shit. Of course, I can't think right now. It has the actor who played fucking the bad guy in the first Blade Best. I can't think of the name of the movie.
You broke up there, Todd.
In the first
In
what?
the first Blade movie? In the first Blade movie.
Stephen Dorff?
Yeah,
Stephen Dorff, yeah. Oh, you mean Deacon Frost? That villain who's better than whatever the villain is in Blade 2?
He just has a cool name. He's not the best. He's no.
I don't know how I feel about Deacon Frost as a character. I will say that Stephen Dorff loses like infinity cool points for fucking shilling blue.
Why? I liked blue. I used to use blue.
Because it's just, I don't know.
All right. So,
see, Jenny McCarthy doing it, I can understand. Stephen Dorff, I don't understand.
The movie that Stephen Dorff plays Pete Best in, and they don't call him Pete Best in the movie, but that's essentially the story. It's called Backbeat. Came out in 1994.
There was a Beatles movie that came out when they were all like teenagers, and it was the guy who played Kick-Ass played Lennon. I think it was like Nowhere Boy. I think is what it was called.
Wait, no.
It looked from the scenes that I saw.
Pete Best is in the film, but it's not Stephen Dorff. It's Scott Williams. I'm looking at it right now, Todd. Stephen Dorff plays a guy named Stuart Sutcliffe, and then Ian Hart plays John Lennon. Gary Bakewell plays Paul McCartney. Chris O'Neill plays George Harrison, and Scott Williams plays Pete Best. The story says a dramatization of the Hamburg, Germany phase of the Beatles' early history.
Yep.
Hold on, I gotta close the screen.
H-A-R-T?
H-A-R-T.
Yeah, yes. So the guy who plays Professor Quirrell in Harry Potter played John Lennon. That's pretty good. That's pretty good casting, actually. He kind of looks like him. I mean, they'll have to add makeup and shit, but and he's actually a pretty talented singer. The movie he was in, it was called Strictly Sinatra, and it was like it did not fucking do well, but it was like a Scottish lounge singer who sings strictly Sinatra, only Sinatra shit. And like he gets involved with the Scottish mafia, which I'm like, that was a fucking thing. Like it was just UK mafia, but and he does his own singing, and it's like, holy shit, he's really fucking good. Didn't expect it. And everyone else is, I mean, it's good to go full circle because we go back to fucking other people with thick Scottish accents, but it's like he's trying to do Sinatra, and then he's like going outside for a smoke. It's like, hey, Tony, come back inside. He's like, I'm on my break. It's like, but when he sings it, he sings like straight. Like,
Sam's here from the 500 section lounge.
What?
What's up, Sam?
No shit.
Thought I already did. I might have already. Yeah, no, I didn't. Have to do that now.
I haven't.
I guess I'll add Nate as a friend too.
Friends.
I suppose.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Well, you know, I deal with them enough on your channel, on your server. So
were there any other fucking Sean Connery movies? Let's talk about Last Crusade. I mean, like, whether you liked him as Bond, you still have to acknowledge who else would be fucking Indiana Jones's dad, but the original James Bond. And I mean, no, I know. And I mean the original Bond, not like Barry Nelson from the TV movie of Casino Royale. I mean, the fucking Bond we all know.
No,
No, I agree with you on that 100%. Like that is perfect casting for Indiana Jones' father, I think.
Todd?
Yeah. And they fucked it up with Shia
I don't know.
LaBeouf.
I really enjoy. That's actually probably my favorite Indiana Jones movie is the one with Sean Connery, and the interaction between him and his dad are probably the funniest parts of the movie. Is like, you know, the whole scene when the castle's on fire and he's like, Dad, Junior, back and forth. I couldn't stop laughing the first time I saw it.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely meant to have that comedy, and it was It was well done. I think it was a good pairing as well.
My dad laughs really fucking hard every single time that scene of Indy says, "Jesus Christ," and Sean just slaps him in the face like, "Don't blaspheme."
The part that makes me, I mean, yeah, that's funny, and there's a lot of parts that make me laugh, but one of the parts that makes me laugh the most is when Indy realizes that he and his father both slept with the same woman. That is fucking funny as balls to me.
My favorite part is still we named the dog. And
best line.
That's a good line too. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's a great one. He's just you're right though, CJ. He was just like, how did you know she was a Nazi?
Sam,
she talks in her sleep.
I see her in the chat. Are you here, bud?
One thing I will say is that Shizer the Beef is definitely somebody who I have warmed up on.
Thank you.
His name is Shizer the Beef. It's German for Shizer the Beef. Is somebody who I have very, very heavily warmed up on over the past couple of years. That I like originally was not a big fan of his, and now I'm just like I'm ride or die for Shizer the Beef.
Thank you. I'm kind of with you.
I kind of liked him younger.
Yeah,
Rico,
I don't know.
Rico,
I kind of
hold on, Todd. Rico, phrasing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm with Mark on that.
Oh, hold on. I liked him.
Okay,
younger,
Todd, you were saying. Please take us away from this.
I was gonna say that after when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull first came out, I was working in a movie theater, so I saw the ending of that movie easily 100 times. And before I actually got to actually watch it from beginning to end. And don't get me wrong, the movie is not great. But I didn't think Shia LaBeouf's character was the worst part of that movie.
I like the movie better than Temple of Doom, without question.
No.
Yeah.
Ha!
I disagree.
I don't hate. I don't hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I still like Temple of Doom. I think Temple of Doom is a good movie.
If I'm ranking indie films, Sam, what's up, homie? Sam,
what's going on? Can you hear me?
How you doing? Yeah, we got you.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm on my phone, so
we're all lagging like shit tonight. I don't know if it's get Vokl or internet connection.
I want to get close so it looks like he and I.
Yeah,
are
a little
twins.
bit. That's
Rico.
On top of each other.
Phrasing.
No,
this is you in what 12 years?
Yeah, 13. 13.
Are you kidding me? That's me tomorrow. Fuck off.
Yeah.
What are you kidding me? Look at this shit. See, I wear the headphones so it looks like I'm like not bald. As soon as I take it off, it's
don't look bald.
For those not familiar, Sam is also from the Odd Pods Network and the host of the 500 Section Lounge. We had Russ jump in from IG earlier. So,
nice.
Yeah, we're getting some Odd Pods representation tonight. I'm fucking liking it. So,
hell yeah.
But we're talking Sean Connery films, man. What's your favorite Connery film?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
Spit it out, you cocksucker.
You don't have one? You don't have a go-to Connery film?
I love The Rock with him.
That's what Nate was saying earlier. Nate was saying that too. It's not a bad choice. I was saying earlier, my personal favorite, Rico knows this, and he hates that I bring it up so much, but The Hunt for October. I fucking love that.
I like that one too.
That's so good. The only issue that I have with The Hunt for October is, and I had this issue with Sean Connery.
He's a Russian speaking with a Scottish accent.
He doesn't attempt to change his accent ever in any film he's
ever. You know why? Why? Because he's fucking Sean Connery. Man.
Yeah, he's fucking Sean Connery.
Do Do you remember that fucking movie he did with Wesley Snipes called like Rise of the Sun? And it's like set in Japan and shit. And he like delivers like the most like Sean Connery Japanese like arigato, good Mr. Roboto. Like this is the most shitty. Like it looks like he was just trying to fucking read a menu. And he's like, yes, I'll have the unagi and tuna. Yes. Like what the fuck? Like. He probably got excited because he's looking. He's like, "Oh, it's sushi. There's an S in there. I like it."
Oh,
sushi.
Yeah.
The script was sushi.
Damn, you
yeah.
Not to get off topic, but you got a pretty big thing going on with the 500 section this Sunday, right?
Yeah. Sunday we've got a segment that we call Live in the Lounge, and what we do is we have a Facebook group page called the Be a Loyal Lounger page, and what we do there is we'd been doing it every couple of Sundays, but we ran into a couple of cancellations and things the past couple of times. But this week we have a Holy Moly reunion. So we've got 7 former contestants from both seasons, 1 and 2 on, and our buddy Carl Barth, who was on there season 2.
Yeah,
Carl. Well, he's Mr. Mini Golf, and if you watched the season, which Rico, I highly doubt you did. Not Carl Barth, the philosopher, or whatever. But
no, Sam, that question is an ongoing joke with PodAskew. I'll fill you in later because it's an off-air joke. But yeah, real quick before you keep going, though, nobody knows shit.
Everybody knows it by now.
Kayfabe, Rico, kayfabe.
Exactly. Sam, before I can't even go on. Before you go further, Sam, explain, because there are people who probably don't know what Holy Moly is. So why don't we explain?
Oh, okay, yeah. Holy Moly is the full contact mini golf show that was on ABC the past 2 years.
So
what's that, Mark?
I fucking love that show so much.
Oh, it's so fun.
So, Mark, did you watch this last season then?
Only part of it.
Okay. Well, Carl was the one. He had a pair of pants that ABC got for him, and he wore like a wrestler's Ric Flair style cape robe type thing out onto the course. Well, they didn't realize that they didn't take the size sticker off the pants, and Rob Riggle had a freaking heyday with him, just relentless. And but we got him, and he lost out to the eventual overall champion with Tanner Beard, and Tanner's going to be with us as well on Sunday. So
nice.
There's 5 others, but we're really excited to get Tanner in there as well.
Sam, I don't want to steal your thunder here, but do you want to announce what you're attempting, or do we want to hold off on that?
But we're going to hold off on that.
Okay, we'll hold off on that. I agree with you, Todd. By the way, Riggle annoys the fuck out of me too, but the rest of the show makes it's okay. And watching Joe's Tessitore play straight to Rob Riggle is like.
And then there's times that he absolutely loses it. Tessitore.
Yeah.
But
I'm guessing I've never seen Step Brothers, so I'm going to go with probably, but I've never seen it. So.
Was he in Step Brothers?
I don't know.
He was in The Other Guys.
He played Adam Scott's.
Oh, yeah. His partner or something.
And he's always yelling, "Pow!"
That Rob Riggle.
I liked him in 21 Jump Street, but that was kind of it. Like I don't love Robert. I don't hate him either.
Mark, you're hearing this conversation and talking about the bad shit that I like.
I'm sorry. What?
You're hearing this conversation about fucking these movies, and you're gonna give me shit about the things that I like.
I mean,
you like us.
Well,
you already obviously have bad taste.
Who the fuck is Carl?
I don't know, but he has
opinions
of a complete toilet.
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know what the C in CJ could stand for. I don't know.
Chuck.
What could it possibly be?
The C stands for can't have a good opinion about movies.
No, Chuck.
Wow.
No name.
But CJ, they did announce that they're having a third season of Holy Moly, and I'm applying for that.
I thought we were not stealing your thunder there. Did you?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other thing. Okay. Yes, I'm applying for season 3 of Holy Moly.
I don't know what the other thing you speak of.
Yeah, we talked about it on last Sunday. Remember?
Oh, the thing out in Missouri.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
I meant you applying for Holy Moly. You being in.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
What's
no, you
happening in Missouri?
You'll have to tune in on Sunday then, Rico.
Sam's actually legally obligated to not say it. Like it's an NDA.
Correct.
A whole bit. So not NDA. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyway.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
I think I'll try and make it, but CJ.
Well, here's the thing. I always release it a couple of days later on YouTube. So
it's also if it's on Facebook, Rico, it should be available VOD.
Okay.
So like Fumes, so you should be able to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're part of the Be a Loyal Lounger page, so you'll be able to access it at any time.
We're Loyal Lounge.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, I'm liking the Odd Pods love tonight. Really, between Russ and although Russ was having a party, so it was a little hard to hear, but he at least showed up. Russ is a good dude.
Well, I'm at my in-laws, so I was driving when you guys started, and then tried to figure out how to get it all uploaded on my get Vokl uploaded on my phone and whatnot. So
we appreciate you coming down and hanging out for a bit with us. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna jump off because I got to go say hi to the in-laws, but I wanted to get on and see what you guys were up to. But I would have to say The Rock is probably my favorite Connery.
Sounds good, Sam. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk soon, bud.
Absolutely. See you guys.
See ya. So anyway, where were we? Yeah, Steph, jump in for a minute.
Steph, do you want to jump on? Let me have her trade with me. No.
Let's see how it goes.
In this room.
Steph?
Yeah, I wanted to see if we could do this. Hi, guys.
He's perfect. She's perfect. As Steph is. Your better half by a long fucking shot.
Yeah, because the business half.
Oh, come on, guys.
Let's see you record an episode without me. Go for it. Have fun with that.
Hey, Todd, you want to do another episode?
Rico, I'm free. Call me.
What?
I said, Rico, I'm free. Call me.
Let's see you upload that shit.
Mark, I would love to do a fucking episode.
Apparently, I'm not
God,
needed on PodAskew.
Hold on. No, that's bullshit, CJ. You know I don't mean that.
Okay,
I can hear myself through her. No, it's
maybe
crazy.
you're just loud.
I'm going to try to speak very calmly. I'm trying to speak calmly.
Steph, can you do me a favor? Can you go change his tampon for me? Maybe he'll be in a better fucking mood. Jesus. Just saying.
Tell that joke story, Steph.
Sure. Yeah, you could say.
I asked her one time. I said, "Hey, if I ever need to go shopping for you, like what tampons do you use?" And she, without thinking, she said, "Depends." And then, but she trailed off. I'm like, "You wear fucking Depends? What the fuck?" That is a heavy.
That's almost correct. You asked me if I prefer pads or tampons, and I said, "Well, it depends."
Oh, okay. No, you didn't say, "Well, it depends." You said depends. You didn't. There was not
we've gone.
Yeah. Come in here. I want to go have a cigarette.
Yeah, I wonder if you would reach it now. Could you get 30 feet with those headphones? I wonder if it would reach because you're closer to your door now than you used to be.
Well, if you don't mind me walking off,
Try
I mean, I'll see. But all right, I'm walking in my house. Well, we're gonna find.
This is the disaster that is
out.
PodAskew. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know why Jay likes this show so much.
Fuck you talking about? Fuck you talking about?
Oh dear God! All right. I don't even know where to go here. Mark, help me out here. Lead us somewhere, please.
Sure. So I've actually been thinking about something all night that I wanted to ask.
Okay.
So we've been super nice about Sean Connery for the most part. We've been like, "What's your favorite Sean Connery movie? What's the best thing that?" Fuck that! Fuck that! Fuck that! I deal in the worst fucking shit. What's the worst Sean Connery movie you've ever seen that isn't Stardust?
Oh. Okay. I might have an answer, but I have a feeling I'm going to get drowned out of my own show if I say it.
Go ahead.
No, let me look at other choices before I go there. Give me a fucking second. Let's see.
I'm going with Avengers.
Wait, are you? Why are you dropping out? If it'll read, that's why we.
It didn't.
Okay.
It won't
It
reach.
cut out when he got to the door.
All right. I think I'll wait till Rico comes back because I want to see his reaction. But well, Mark, to the same question you asked when I asked the favorite, are you talking about terrible movie he's in or worst
either one?
Okay.
I would say, like, for me personally, it would probably be a both sort of thing. Because for me, I would say the worst movie that he's in where he's a leading character.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of choices to make, unfortunately, is the problem. Because, like, I love the guy as an actor, but if I had to, like, if you put a gun to my head and I had to pick one of them,
right.
Probably I'm going to say First Night.
Okay.
I'd have to agree with you. I generally, if I watch a movie with him in it, I tend to just like the movie. I like watching him in stuff. So it's hard for me to like pick the worst because it's like I specifically watched the movie for Sean Connery. Sure. So I would have to say First Night. Yeah.
If we're talking a movie where he's an important character, but he isn't the main character, got to be Highlander 2.
Steph,
I haven't seen that though.
You might have said this in the chat, but I didn't. What is your favorite? Because if you saw it, I think I missed it.
I said Medicine Man and Finding Forrester.
Okay. All right. I saw those, but I don't think I realized those were your answers to my question. So I thought you'd type those in. Yeah.
Yeah, those are interesting choices. It's not what I would have picked necessarily, but they're solid.
See, I know.
Like, I can understand why people wouldn't like Medicine Man because he's just like this really brash, kind of like know-it-all dick, really. But I don't know. I think it really works because he had to be brash to be against the other leading character who's from the Bronx. Actually, she wasn't from the Bronx. He just nicknamed her Bronx.
Here you go, little girl.
Anyway.
No, it's good. I mean, they're good. See, here's the thing. Unlike other people that are in the room, if you like a film, it's okay that you like a film, even if other people don't like the film.
Listen,
it depends on the rationale.
Listen,
I'm not just talking about you, Mark. I'm talking about other people in the chat room and other people out having cigarettes.
No, I agree. I understand. But here's the thing. A lot of the time, the argument that you make is not I dislike Thing. It's Thing is bad.
Wait, what?
Your arguments in a lot of cases
he is making a valid point.
Yeah, like your arguments aren't I dislike Thing. Your argument is Thing is bad.
Well, no, I mean the one if you're talking about the most infamous one, yes, I still think Thing is bad, but the rest of them are more just I didn't like it, honestly.
I mean, you made that argument.
But that's not how you present it to us. Usually when you present something that you dislike, you say that the entirety of that thing is what you dislike, not like an element of it.
What the fuck did I walk?
We're having a conversation about media literacy with CJ.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I waited to answer Mark's question until real quick, just to change subject for a split second. Kateri, Fumes is actually live right now. He's playing. He's doing his Luigi Maker. Anyway, so
Mario Kart stuff.
No, Mario Maker, not Mario Kart.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know the difference.
There's a difference.
So you can play video games. It's fine. It's fine.
That's all right. Yeah, it's fine. So Rico, my worst is a tie between Dragonheart, and this is the one I'm going to get murdered for. Time Bandits.
Fuck you!
I didn't enjoy it.
I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He is presenting it as I didn't enjoy it, not it's bad. So in this case, I will not throw you off the balcony for that one. It's Terry Gilliam movies. I love Terry Gilliam movies, but there are instances where they are weird.
No, wait. So Mark had asked the movies that you thought that Sean Connery was bad in.
Well, no, the worst Sean Connery movie.
So you think that he didn't represent? Yeah. Oh, okay. So it doesn't I took it as like Sean if he performed poorly.
I can't think of anything where he was really like a bad performer necessarily. Like I think he generally brought his A game in most of the stuff he was in.
And as I said at the beginning, I think one is very underrated is on Entrapment. I really do. That's a very good movie. I think it's very underrated.
But yeah, if there's a movie where you think he did badly in it, then by all means, like I can't think of anything where I'm like, Sean Connery didn't do a good job there. But like if that's where you're coming from, absolutely hit me. Maybe
the unitard one we just saw the picture of about an hour ago. Maybe that one.
All right,
they said Zardoz was off.
I've got a performance of Sean's that he did where he just kind of fucking. You could just tell he didn't give a shit, and it was Never Say Never Again, which was the off-Bond movie.
The Bond movie that wasn't
a Bond movie, remake of. Yeah, it was Thunderball, but it was a remake of Thunderball, and it wasn't official. But the producer who owned the rights to Thunderball was like obsessed with that story. He's like, "We're gonna make this again. We're gonna do it better." And Sean came. It was like Roger Moore was Bond, and then there was like, "Oh, there's another Bond movie, and it's Sean Connery. What the fuck?" And it was, he just fucking did not give a shit. Like he kind of played it, like he kind of played him like Dean Martin, which is bizarre because Dean Martin was already doing like an American Bond movie at the same time, and you're like watching, you're like, this is just confusing on so many fucking levels. But no, CJ, fuck you for not liking Time Bandits.
Like, no, I'll defend CJ on that one.
Thank you.
We don't want to because
I want to hear why.
Yeah, I do want to hear why.
Because I can appreciate that Terry Gilliam is not for everyone. I definitely understand that. I didn't like Brazil, so I can understand the Gilliam-esque, and I don't like a lot of Gilliam's later shit. Like I tried watching Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and it was fine, but it wasn't like astounding.
Right.
But I always kind of viewed Time Bandits as the lost Python film and a more fantasy, serious Python film. It wasn't. I mean, it's funny, but it's not really fucking funny. It's funny in that dry British way.
Well, and Todd said it best. He said it's confusing as fuck. It was just really confusing. Like I had trouble following it. I had trouble understanding what was going on. It just didn't sit with me. I'm not I'm not going to shred Gilliam. I'm a huge fan. You know I am, but I just didn't get that fucking film. You know?
Yeah,
So
I'll defend them on that one. It's Time Bandits can be like a lot of Gilliam's films. Unfortunately, can be a bit harder to parse, just because of the nature of the direction that he does. So, as much as it's like Tom Waits. I love Tom Waits to death, but if you don't like Tom Waits, I totally understand.
I mean, I can say I probably saw Time Bandits a lot when I was a kid, so I think I just was into it. But I would agree that it takes more than one viewing to understand it. But really, it's just I've always kind of viewed it as what his imagination is what's really happening. Like it's acknowledging that God is there and he's creating everything, and then all these dwarves, which are the more or less representations of the members of Monty Python, like each one represents a different member, worked for God, found like wormholes, decided to fucking use it to steal and rob from people of different times, like Robin Hood or
you got to
Napoleon.
remember.
And this
sorry,
kid,
I thought you were done. My apologies. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you remember when we talked Monty Python? I wasn't the biggest fan of The Meaning of Life either. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't.
You didn't watch Meaning of Life.
Parts I saw didn't make me want to see the rest. Like it just didn't.
Yeah, that one's kind of confusing to me, just because most people, if polled for their least favorite Python film, are generally going to point to Life of Brian. Meaning of Life is usually regarded as one of the better ones they've done.
I'll take Holy Grail over.
Well, yeah, Holy Grail is generally considered to be the Holy Grail of Python films.
Yeah.
Which one of the Python movies had like the office building that turned into a fucking like pirate ship?
Meaning of Life.
Yeah, that movie was confusing as well. It felt like it was just a collection of their best bits, just kind of thrown into a movie.
Yes.
That's what it is, but it was also with each chapter, it was a theme. So each chapter had a title, and then the bits. I mean, look, you can't go and watch a Monty Python movie and be like, it's not serious enough. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to say. They're crazy and kooky. I mean, that's the whole. There's a fucking holy hand grenade and a fucking bunny that eats people in Holy Grail.
Here's the thing, and I'll stick up for Rico a little bit here. If I recall, The Meaning of Life was the first Python film he saw. So, so when you have your first,
with the exception of Time Bandits.
Okay, well, all right. I tried. I give up.
For me,
no. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just.
For me, I don't necessarily think
Time Bandits. I just felt.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. There's that lag. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's just for me. It's from my perspective of it is. Meaning of Life is meant to be very non sequitur in the different jokes that are happening in it. It is a collection of bits, though none of them are like Python bits so much as they are new bits made for the movie. But the thing for me is all of them follow a particular theme and concept. It's sort of like History of the World Part 1, in that all of them stand on their own, but they all work together because they all follow a particular theme that they're going for.
I 1,000,000,000% agree. That's exactly right. I mean, they're not throwing the death sequence in the middle of the film. They're throwing it in the death part of the film. But I do have to tell you again, CJ, you didn't watch Meaning of Life. You actually thought that part where Terry Jones as the fat fuck blows up and vomits, you thought that was at the beginning of the film, and Steph and I were like, we don't know what you saw, because that's like towards the end. So like a bad copy, or someone showed you just that one clip and said you got to watch this, but you didn't watch Meaning of Life. So
regardless,
but I am glad that you attempted Time Bandits.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was years ago. It was before we met. I watched it 15 years ago, something like that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you saw it again recently because I was telling you, hey, it's on HBO. You should check it out.
No. This was
well. That doesn't help either. You should give it another shot.
Yeah,
I do think that would be a film that would actually benefit from watching it with more perspective.
Maybe I'll wait till they pass that the weed law. And I'll
it's passed. It's gonna take like
I don't
a year
think you
to
need
fucking. That movie would be confusing on weed, I think.
I wouldn't watch any of those
I've
movies.
tried it.
Christ.
I tried smoking pot and watching Time Bandits, and I kept thinking, what time are they in, man? Like, what's the like if they're in like Napoleon's era, but then they go to Robin Hood, and it was a total mindfuck. And then I'm like, once I thought I figured out the film, it was already over, and it was like a VHS tape, so it was like the snow and shit. I'm just like, dude, I was so fucking baked. I had a fucking edible, and you never ever should fuck with an edible ever. Period. Edibles are the biggest fucking slow creep. Oh, you're high. Like, follow it, and you'll never fucking catch up unless you're used to it.
Yeah.
But Time Edits is better than that. I guess that's my point.
It's been about 20 years since I've seen Time Bandits. I remember liking it the first time I saw it, but I was very confused all the way through.
I wasn't. I appreciate the fact that Evil, the devil, is played by David Warner, and he's kind of doing him like he's grotesque and he's evil and he's vicious, but he kind of is just a sort of uppity, stuffy British guy, and like manners are still like rampant, and it's sort of a reversal. He's like, I'm starting to feel very, very good, and his henchman's like, I'm sorry, master. It's okay, it'll pass. Like, it's bizarre, weird, dry British dialogue, which I appreciate. I mean, as a little kid, I also appreciate the fantastical aspect of it, like the giant with the fucking ship as a hat. And even on the ship, it shows an ogre who's like grotesque, and he's got a bad back, and he's got a normal British housewife who's a human, who's arguably more terrifying than the ogre. I'm telling you, 20 years ago, try it again. Both CJ and everybody, like, you all need to rewatch it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's my own opinion.
With the 15 minutes we have left, Rico, you brought up something that kind of gives me a segue. It's changing subjects completely, but I feel like it's something I know you probably want to talk about because you said fantastical, and I saw your tweet earlier today about Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, fuck. Wow. Yeah, that was a kick in the balls when I woke up to. Yeah, Johnny is resigned from Grindelwald from the Fantastic Beasts movies, and I am absolutely fucking furious with Warner Brothers. Like, I'm just done, man. Like, I don't need to see the next Fantastic Beasts movie. I was curious, but like now I just don't give a fuck.
Why did he resign?
I don't even really kind of give a fuck to watch because he lost his court case in England. Basically, they said, no, we believe Amber Heard, you're a wife beater. And then now Disney doesn't want him. They were talking about maybe
cut him.
Bringing him back.
He's been canceled.
No, he resigned. Yeah. And I just find the hypocrisy of Warner Brothers really outlandishly huge. Like, J.K. Rowling, like, we're all sitting here living our fucking lives. And then J.K. Rowling goes on Twitter and says, let me tell you about transgender people. And we're like, God damn it, bitch. Stop ruining yourself and the books that we fucking like. And then they keep Amber Heard for Aquaman 2. Ezra Miller was filmed drunk, slamming a fan down the ground by grabbing them by the throat. He's still getting his own fucking movie. They keep fucking with Zack Snyder. They keep fucking, and they hire Joss Whedon, and they're fucking up with the guy who played Cyborg. Like, there's a whole back and forth about like I can't believe Ray Fisher saying that no, dude, the CEOs of Warner Brothers are not like friendly with us, and they keep fucking doing things behind everyone's back, and then they fucking bull this shit with Johnny, and I'm like, dude, I get that he admitted that he did drugs, openly. He was in a court case and he said, yes, I've done a lot of drugs. But it's not like we didn't fucking know this. Name me one person in Hollywood who's never done drugs. It's just not. Robert Downey Jr. was a complete fucking heroin addict.
So
now he's the fucking king of Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay. No, sorry. No, I was gonna let you finish. My bad. I'm having some lag because I'm actually just looking at.
That's how I ended it. Yeah.
Go ahead, Mark.
So it seems as though the major catalyst for this, if I had to venture a guess, was him losing his libel case against the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if this is a European case or an American case, because he lives in Europe and it's a British tabloid. I don't know exactly how libel law works in the UK, but I know how it works in the US. And Johnny Depp was never going to win that fucking case. So the fact that he's appealing it, to me, just seems like a waste of money, honestly, because he's never going to fucking win that case.
He's also taking her to court in Virginia.
Okay, I would have waited to see how that went personally. If Warner Brothers are specifically hinging this on whether or not he won this libel case, he was never going to win this fucking libel case. And I don't even know why he bothered to make the case in the first place, because libel is very restrictive, especially if you are a public figure. He's never going to win no matter where he brings that case up. Now, him suing Amber Heard is very different for one very specific reason. Libel law in the United States very specifically requires that you have to say what you're saying if you're being libelous, knowing that it is untrue and desiring it to be damaging. The Sun, I don't fucking know what their position is, but chances are good if you're a magazine or a media thing, their argument is going to be, look, we're just going by what information we were given. We don't fucking know. Right. So it's going to be very difficult to prove that they did what they did, knowing that it was false and with malice. Again, I don't know how UK laws work, but in the US, that's how that works. Him going after Amber Heard, he can...
In the context of the Sun... In the context of the Sun, they labeled him specifically with the word wife beater, because the title was J.K. Rowling chooses wife beater as new villain of Harry Potter film, and so it was all about the casting of Fantastic Beasts 1. Well, I guess it was technically 2, because I guess they didn't see that he showed up in the end of the first one, but that's irrelevant. So him being alluded to as a wife beater was what he's having a problem with, because then he started losing roles. And like Pirates, he was ready to do 6, which they should have stopped at 3, personally. Yeah. And then they now they're going to reboot it with fucking Margot Robbie doing a separate fucking Pirates film. But there was still the possibility that if it was revealed that he was cleared and he was not a wife beater, and Amber Heard is a fucking crazy bitch and lied about the whole thing, which she has also done in the past. She pulled this shit with another person, a woman that she was dating in like the early 2000s.
Right, and that's why I'm saying
proven that she made the whole fucking thing up.
Right, and that's why I'm saying specifically his case against Amber Heard is much stronger. With the 4 elements of libel in the United States, there must be a defamatory imputation, which there was. They claimed it was a wife beater. There must be publicity of the libelous matter, which there was. People were calling him a wife beater. The person libeled must be identified. They call him Johnny Depp. He clearly was. There must be malice on the part of the accused. I don't think the Sun could very easily prove that there's no malice involved in that, and that they didn't even necessarily know that it was libel. With Amber Heard, they can absolutely prove malice, and I think she's going to get fucked on that.
But that's my point, is that Warner Brothers is still her to be in Aquaman 2.
Agreed.
They're like, I will say this. They were awful to each other. She was kind of worse, and Johnny was a drug addict. She also cut off his fucking finger, and he did a bunch of coke. They're awful. They're not great to each other, and they're kind of awful in general. So if you're gonna fucking take, one, you should take the both off. Let them both fucking figure out their careers, and then sue each other, and then have that shit figured out. I'm just saying Warner Brothers is picking sides, and it's like the side that, like, why are you choosing that side? Like, J.K. Rowling, don't choose that side, because if the unanimous support is fuck that bitch or fuck that guy, you kind of want to not ignore the public
I agree with that
outcry,
one 1,000%.
especially with like Ezra Miller.
I agree with that one 1,000%.
I just, Warner Brothers has been doing this for a long time. I'm not even a fan of Zack Snyder's movies, but they pulled this shit. Like, we were told, his daughter committed suicide, so he's taking a step back, and then Joss Whedon's going to come in and fill in the reshoots. Not what fucking happened at all. They fired his ass, but they didn't want to be known as the villains who fired somebody when his daughter killed herself. So he had to make a statement. That I feel bad for Zack Snyder that he and his wife, who's also his producer, had to say, during this tragedy, we have to take a step back and we're going to allow Joss Whedon. He didn't pick Joss Whedon. The fucking Warner Brothers said Joss is going to do it because he made Avengers 1 and 2. And those were big money makers. And now Joss Whedon's career is fucked. Like, I'm just saying, Warner Brothers has got to be fucking, whoever the heads are, Jeff Johns and whoever the fuck, are just like, what are we even doing at this point? We keep trying to make franchises and then they fizzle out and fall apart. People are fucking suing each other. People are fucking each other. People are doing coke off each other's asses and then slamming each other with a throat on the ground. Like, Warner Brothers, remember when Warner Brothers was actually a couple Warner Brothers? And now I don't even know what the fucking studio means. Warner, I'm done, man.
It's almost as if famous people are terrible.
I mean, it sounds like studio heads are even worse. Like, they don't.
Well, I mean, look,
they don't
prime
give
example,
a fuck.
Harvey Weinstein.
Most studio heads are the dirt fucking worst, as I understand it. So
prime example number 2, Les Moonves.
I will say this.
What?
I will say this. Harvey Weinstein at least made some fucking good movies, as awful as he is as a human being. I'm not at all fucking defending him, but I haven't seen a good Warner Brothers movie in a fucking long time. Like, really good. You're like, okay, Aquaman was entertaining.
Dark Knight.
Wonder Woman was entertaining. Okay, 2008.
Yeah.
Kind of proving my point. I feel, because I've been in an abusive relationship, and the automatic thing is you want to believe the woman. You always want to believe the woman. When anyone is screaming rape or abuse or whatever, you want to believe the victim. And for her to kind of win and for him to lose a big stepping stone in his career, because we kind of knew Disney's gonna. He admitted to doing drugs numerous times. Disney was like, that's the end of that motherfucker. So he knew that, risking his career. But he was depending on Warner Brothers. He was depending on still writing that fantastic fuck movie and Where to Fucking Run It to the Ground franchise. And now he's just kind of like he went to Robert Downey Jr. and begged him. He's like, I am in help. You've been in the same situation as I am. Please help me. And RDJ was like, great, we're going to put you in Sherlock 3. That's the rumor. He was apparently in negotiations to be in Sherlock Holmes 3. Who the fuck knows if that's going to happen now?
I'll be honest. I don't think Johnny Depp's film career is going to take as much of a hit as you might think. Just because
it already has.
Look at how much we as a society are willing to forgive, or not forgive, but willing to continue casting horrible fucking people in media. Mel Gibson's got a fucking movie coming out.
Is anyone going to see it?
Doesn't matter.
I'm
just got his money.
That does matter, just because. Well, I mean, look, there's like 3 Johnny Depp movies that are coming out. I don't know if anyone's seen them. There was a movie he did called The Professor. We got it at the video room. No one rented that shit. No one saw that shit. I don't know a single person who's seen it who could tell me what it's about. He made a movie with Forrest Whitaker, like I think it was called City of Angels or something, and it's all about him as a reporter and Forrest Whitaker as a cop, and they're trying to fucking solve who shot Tupac or who shot Biggie or who shot Biggie. And that movie has yet to be released because of all the controversy of Johnny Depp allegedly beating the shit out of Amber Heard. Like, they pulled it back. They weren't releasing it. So his career is being affected. Came out
in 2018.
It is now? It was never released.
I'm looking at it right here. 2018. Lies.
Well, maybe.
Oh, it was released.
It was pulled. No new date was announced, but it was screened at Noir Festival in 2018, and later received a limited release in Italy in 2019.
Thank you.
So we may never actually see that in the U.S. in any capacity.
Mark with the quick trigger on the research. Jesus.
My Google Flu is strong.
I'm more amazed of we're not going to release this, but the Baba da Boopies are going to watch it. Like,
yeah. Well, listen. What we're getting down to the time here. Todd, what's going on your show tonight?
Well, nothing really planned per se, but we could probably continue the conversation, or I could pull something out of my ass.
I don't want to watch you do that, so please do it before you get on camera. That's all I'm asking.
Well, I mean, I don't have to do that on camera.
I recommend. I mean, if you want to get into the Mandalorian, I do recommend we avoid episode 2 so we don't spoil for people. But if you want to get into episode 1 deeper, we could get into that maybe. But it's your show. You pick.
Yeah,
I tried watching.
I mean, I'm cool with talking about Mando.
Yeah,
I tried watching it here, but the internet connection's so bullshit. It was just like the Disney thing loading, and I'm like, this is. And then it started, and then it stopped immediately. I'm like,
when is your internet getting fixed?
I need
surprisingly, you're coming through pretty good tonight, Rico. I'm not gonna lie. Like for.
I don't know what to. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't called Comcast yet, Mark, but because we've literally just been unpacking for the past couple of days. But I'm probably going to call them or do it online in the next couple of days and try and get them out here by Monday.
Yeah, that's probably going to be your best bet. Now, who just jumped in? Let's see.
Yeah. All I can say is
Movie Matthew. He left.
Yeah. All I can say is just like looking at all of this, like just going through the rabbit hole that I've gone through while looking up different stuff that we've been discussing.
Yeah.
Man, Brandon Fraser got fucking did dirty.
Yeah, he did. That's a whole different conversation, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, but like it just branched off for me from the fucking Warner Brothers conversation. I was just like, oh yeah, Brandon Fraser, he got fucking.
Oh no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But yeah,
but he's coming back.
Yeah, he's on Doom Patrol.
So, but let's. I'm gonna say thank you to Mark and Todd for hanging out primarily on camera. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Gonna ask you guys. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna move you off, but thank you for hanging out. Please come hang out on Todd's show. To everybody else that's been in the chat room here, we got Kateri, we got Jay, we got Nate for the whole time, for most of the time, and I appreciate that. And then Shannon, and yes, I said Kateri. I don't forget Kateri. Trust me, I don't. So hopefully you all come hang out with us on Todd's show. We're gonna head over there. I'm heading over there. Are you coming, Rico, or are you saying fuck it? Okay.
I don't know.
I'll be there. I'm gonna go hang out for a bit. I'm gonna. The only time I might jump off Todd's thing is because they're expecting potentially a change in the election tonight, and I want to see what's happening there. Potentially the enough votes to call Pennsylvania, which would end this thing. So we'll see.
I think I'm gonna make the Comcast information tonight. I think that's what I'm gonna fuck with.
Let's see. It's just about 7:00. You could try it. Sure. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Please hang out with us over at Todd's show. Hang out with us again next week. We did get announced officially that we're in the beta for Get Vokl, which we kind of already said, but we'll definitely be here for the foreseeable future, even during the rebrand. Or the rebuild, I should say. So we will be here. The only thing that might change is our night. We've been told that the day that we're on might change, but we'll keep you guys posted as soon as we know. Or if it changes. So anyway, that is aside, and we'll deal with that when we get there. Thank you again for coming out, and we will see everybody next week.
Sayonara, suckers.